Hello students, welcome back to our geography session. Today, let us continue with our lesson Winds, Part 3. But before we proceed ahead, let us recall what we had studied in the last lecture. In the last lecture, we had studied about the local winds. That means the winds that blow for a short duration of time. These winds originate in specific regions and blow over a limited area. We also studied the sea breeze. That means the cool breeze that blows to the land. Next, we studied was the land breeze. Here, the winds blow from the land to the sea. So, the objectives for the day are the monsoon winds, the cyclones, and the anticyclones. Let us start with the first subtopic on page number 26. Do you know? Here the names of the local winds are given. First one is the Lu. Now let us see the nature. Its nature is hot and dry. Some of the characteristics of this wind are that it blows in the North Indian plain during the summer season, generally in the afternoons. They come from the hot Thar desert. Second wind is the Simoon. The nature is hot, dry and destructive. Now these winds blow with a tremendous velocity from the Sahara and the Arabian desert. As these winds are quite strong, they are destructive. Second is Chinook. Nature is warm and dry. These winds blow down the eastern slopes of the Rocky Mountains of North America. They cause the snow to melt and increase the temperature in the valleys. Next we have is the Mistral. Now the nature is cold and dry. These winds blow in Spain, France and areas around the Mediterranean Sea. They originate from the Alps. These cold winds reduce the temperature in the coastal areas. Next we have is the Bora. The nature is cold and dry. These blow from the Alp mountains towards the coastal areas of Italy. Next we have is the Pampero. Nature is cold and dry. Now these winds blow around the pampas grasslands in South America. Next we have is the Fohn. The nature is hot and dry, and these winds blow along the northern slope of the Alps. Now let us proceed to the monsoon winds. First, let us see how the monsoon winds are generated. So, the monsoon winds are generated due to the uneven, means the unequal heating of land and water in the different seasons. That means sometimes the land will be heated more and sometimes it will heat less. Now let us see what happens during the summers. During the summers, monsoons blow from the sea to the land, whereas in the winter they blow from the land to the sea. Now children, observe this diagram. Here you can see that at the top on the left side you can see Asia. On the left side you can see Africa. And on the right, that is at the bottom part, you can see Australia. So, Southeast Asia, East Africa, North Australia are the regions where the pronounced effects of these winds are felt. The influence of monsoon winds is seen in the summer and winter seasons in the Indian subcontinent. Now what happens because of these winds? The Indian subcontinent experiences monsoon and retreating monsoon seasons apart from the summer and the winter. Now what are monsoon winds? Monsoon winds are in fact sea and land breezes blowing on a large scale. Most of the precipitation means rain in the form of hailstone in the Indian subcontinent is the effect of monsoon winds. Now children, observe the diagram. Can you see in the diagram a pink color line? Now this pink color is the equator. Here the equator is highlighted in pink color. So after crossing the equator, they blow from the southwest towards the Indian subcontinent. And when will they blow? They will blow from June to September. And these winds are full of moisture. Whereas now, from September to December, because of the low pressure area developing near the equator, winds blow from the Indian subcontinent towards the equator, and these winds are called the northeast monsoon winds, and these winds are dry. So we can see in short that the southwest monsoon winds blow from June to September, whereas the northeast monsoon winds blow from September to December, and the southwest monsoon winds blow from the southwest towards the Indian subcontinent, and the northeast monsoon winds they blow from the Indian subcontinent towards the equator. The southwest winds are full of moisture, whereas the northeast winds are dry. Now children, next we have a very interesting topic, and that is the cyclones. So let us understand what is a cyclone. Cyclonic conditions are created when a low pressure area is surrounded by a high pressure area. So children, you can see in the diagram, in these conditions, the winds start blowing towards the low pressure area from the surrounding high pressure area. Let us learn about the directions. Now, due to the rotation of the earth, the cyclonic winds in the northern hemisphere move in an anti-clockwise direction, whereas in the southern hemisphere they move in a clockwise direction. You can see this in the diagram, children. Now, let us see what happens when a cyclone will come. The sky becomes cloudy. The winds start blowing with a high velocity, that is, with a high speed, and it will rain heavily. Now, this cyclone will affect a limited area. The duration, that means the time, the velocity, the direction, and the place of origin of these winds is unpredictable. That means no one knows about its time, its speed, or whether it may occur or not. Now, let us proceed to the next topic, that is the cyclonic storms. Cyclones occurring in the western part of the Pacific Ocean along the coast of Japan, China, Philippines are known as the typhoons, and these storms arise in the months between June and October, and because of the high velocity winds and heavy rains, they prove to be destructive. That means they cause a damage to the property. The cyclones in the Caribbean Sea are known as the hurricanes. They too are destructive. So see your children, now different names are given to the cyclonic storms. Somewhere they are known as the typhoons, and somewhere they are known as the hurricanes. Now let us see the speed of the cyclones. During these storms, the minimum velocity of the wind is 60 km per hour. Cyclones also originated in the temperature zone, but they are not so powerful and destructive. Now moving ahead to the anticyclones. They are just the opposite to cyclones. Under specific atmospheric conditions, the air pressure in a particular region increases and the pressure in the surrounding areas remain low. That means in this situation, the winds blow from the center towards the surrounding areas. And how they blow? they blow in a circular manner. So in the northern hemisphere, these winds blow in a clockwise direction, whereas in the southern hemisphere, they blow in an anti-clockwise direction. Now what happens during an anticyclone? During an anticyclone, the skies are clear. The winds blow, but they blow with a lesser velocity. That means the speed is quite less. And how is the weather? The weather is pleasant. So these anticyclones, they last only for a few days or for a week, and they originate in the temperature zones. Now children, on a weather map, the center of a cyclone is represented by the letter L, and the center of an anticyclone is represented by the letter H. Children, this is also one of the most important points. Generally, this question is asked in the exam. So please keep this in mind. Now, cyclone system moves from one place to another, and the anticyclones, they are experienced in the high pressure belts. Winds in these regions are always moving out, and so the rainfall also is quite low in these areas. So children, I hope you all have understood this lesson. For homework, please go through this lesson, read the lesson carefully and write the question answers. Thank you.